I was so addicted to driving back in the United States. I mean, it's not that it was something that I wanted to do, but it was something I loved to do. So it was sort of a double-edged sword. I can remember when I first stole the keys from my mom and dad to drive their car while they were at work. And I was age 15. I didn't even have a driver's permit at the time, right? But I wanted to get behind the wheel so bad. I already had some driving experience with my dad. He taught me how to drive. But then it was like, the freedom. Oh man, I got the car and I'm on the road and I can go anywhere I want to go, right? And I would just drive and drive and drive. That was my first love of driving a car. And then, of course, you get older and the years go on. And I can remember, like, in my early 20s, well, teenage years, early 20s, I remember just wanting to get in my car just to go, okay? Like, back in the day when gas was actually reasonably priced, I would take whatever money I had, fill up that gas tank, and just hit the road with no destination in mind. I would just be happy just rolling down the windows, getting out on the open road, letting the wind blow through my hair, getting away from the city of Orlando, and just getting out in the boondocks of Florida, right? And exploring. Like, that was my thing. I just wanted to get on the road and see parts of Florida that I've never seen before. And then that love of me just doing it by myself also came with my husband. Well, at the time we met, and he loved to do the same thing. So, we got together, and it's like one of the cheapest dates you could ever do. It's like, hey, we're bored, let's go. I mean, do we have enough money to put together for a tank of gas? Yes. All right. Do we have a little extra bread to maybe get a drink and a snack? Yes. Well, what the hell are we sitting on the couch for? Let's just like fill up the gas tank and freaking go, right? And let's just see where the road takes us. So, those are my fond memories of driving. And then, of course, as they say, you get a job and life settles down. And then, okay, now kids come along. And it's like, now you need the car, not just for a pleasure, but you need the car for transportation to get to your job, right? I mean, especially in the United States, and where I'm from, I was living in Winter Haven, Florida, outside the Orlando area, and there maybe was a public bus, but it hardly covered 20 square miles of my home. So it's not like I could just take a bus, right? So you're pretty much locked into the system where you have to have a car to get from point A to point B. Yeah, I had a Walmart maybe 3 blocks up the road that I could probably walk to, or I could get a bicycle and ride to, which I've done a few times. But let's face it, not many people do that in the United States, and especially in Florida when it's super freaking hot, okay? You want a car with air conditioning. So now this vehicle that you love so much to just get behind the wheel and go and drive, it goes from pleasure to actually pain, okay? It goes from an asset to a liability, all right? Because let's face it, owning a car, it's not like you just buy the car and that's it. You wash your hands of expenses, right? We all know what goes with a car, right? You got to put gas in it every single week, and the gas prices fluctuate every single week. You've got to pay the car insurance on it every single month. At least for the state of Florida where I'm from, it's the law. You have to have car insurance on that vehicle, right? Or if you get pulled over by a cop, and that's the first 2 things they ask you for, driver's license and proof of insurance. You don't have that proof of insurance, you're gonna get a ticket. Or if you have too many of those, you might go to jail. And then there's the other thing, you got to keep up with your driver's license. So you got to pay to have a license to actually drive that car, right? And then you've got to register the damn thing. You've got to pay every year to register and say, hey, yeah, I have proof, I have insurance, I have a driver's license. May I have permission to drive on this road? So now you got to pay the state, well, me, the state of Florida, to actually drive that car on the road. And that's just the preliminary expenses. Then there comes the maintenance side of it, right? So now it's like, okay, if you got a shiny new car, well, you're probably making car payments, number one, right? Now I know when I first got my first brand new car on my own, and this was back the early 2000s when, you know, car prices were actually a little reasonable. I got my Nissan Altima. It was a 2014, brand new. I was the first owner. I paid $20,000 for that brand new car out the door, okay? And then, of course, I had a car payment. So back then, my car payment was about $400 a month on top of all the other expenses. Now, fast forward 20 years in the future, right now, people are paying double that for a car payment plus the expenses. But even then, it was a little rough to swing a $400 a month car payment on top of gas, insurance, and then going into tags and maintenance. Now, once the car has some years on it, all right, when it's new, no problem. You go in for, you know, a couple freebie oil changes because it's part of your leasing contract or whatever, you know, it's part of the deal when you buy the car, right? You get to go back to the dealer for the first 6 months or year, and you get some freebie oil changes. Okay, that's cool. But everything else is on you. And I swear to God, it seems like once my Nissan got older, once it got older, I'd say, and it was a great car, and I was anal. I took care of this car religiously, okay? When it got older, I actually had to pay for maintenance, okay? Tires start to wear out. There goes $1,000 for a set, maybe more. Transmission fluid needs flushed, okay. Brakes need changed, okay. But it seems like every year, and I don't know if this was done by the manufacturer, around October, when all my credit cards would be paid off, all of a sudden I take my car in for regular maintenance, right? And they're like, there's about 2 or 3 things that need to be done on this car. And ma'am, you need to do it right away, and it's gonna cost you $1,500. I never got away with under $1,000 on repairs, right? So I'm like, okay, there goes my clean credit card, and Christmas is coming up. But I always knew, like with my job back then, I was lucky. I actually got a bonus check. It wasn't much, but they would hand out bonuses at the end of March every year, okay? And for some damn reason, that bonus check always went to pay off the credit card because the car needed something done to it. So I put the expense on the credit card, I make the minimum payments to float me from October all the way to March, then I'd get my bonus check, then I'd pay off the credit card, and there went my bonus money, so I never was able to pull ahead, okay? And this was rinse and repeat every single year. Every single year. And I had that car for 9 years before I left the United States. And I personally gave the car as a gift to my son. I said, okay, now it's your baby. All the expenses are on you. I'm changing the title and everything to you. I don't need a car anymore. I'm traveling. Goodbye. Okay? So fast forward to now, all right? Fast forward to now. I have been without a car for literally 3 years. 3 years. And I was just sitting back and I was thinking to myself, do I miss driving? Not really. And I sure as hell don't miss car payments, and I don't miss putting gas in my car, paying my insurance, or renewing my tag every year. And I don't miss, of course, the high maintenance expenses, okay? I don't miss none of that shit. In fact, when you start to get out of the United States and you start to see how other people get around the world, it will blow your mind. It's literally an eye-opening experience. Just me, before I settled down here in Cambodia and became a tuk-tuk girl, okay? Before I became a tuk-tuk girl, and if you don't know what a tuk-tuk is, I'll explain in a minute. Now I'm gonna get to your comments in just a moment, guys. I just wanna get this off my chest, but I went to, parts of Europe, okay? They have trams, dirt cheap. Dirt cheap, 50 cents a ride anywhere in the city, clean, air conditioned, always get a seat. I mean, especially if you avoid rush hour. Perfect. Stops all along the main roads. It was just so easy to get a tram, right? Or they had the underground subways like in Budapest. Oh, man, you talk about fast, efficient, clean. I didn't see no bums hanging out down there. There was no graffiti all over the walls. I mean, it was fabulous. You pay for a ticket on an app. You don't even need to go to a ticket counter. Everything's digital. Like, you think it's so primitive out there. It's not. So that's just Europe. And then, of course, they've got that in parts of Southeast Asia. Like, I've been to Bangkok and I've been to Kuala Lumpur. And I have seen their transportation systems. They have like monorails that go over the city, especially Bangkok has the monorail kind of trains that go over the city. They've got the riverboat taxis that go through the water canals of the city. You don't even have to get in a car. Not to mention the tuk-tuks, right? So, and now I'm here and I'm in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, and I think to myself, I love tuk-tuks. I'm addicted to tuk-tuks. If you don't know what those are actually just little like three-wheel kind of motorbikes with a cabin on top. Some of them have side doors, some of them don't, but they're open air, okay? There's no air conditioning, but it's a lot of good air coming in when you're driving through the city. And you get your personal driver on speed dial because they have apps out here. They're not primitive, okay? You get on something called a Grab app, which I absolutely love. And yeah, I hook up my credit card to the Grab app, automatically pays for a ride. I don't have to haggle with the driver, right? And you just pin the location on the Grab app, or you give it the address, and the guy knows exactly where you want to go. So if he doesn't speak any English, no problem. He's got the app. He knows where you want to go. And they are Johnny on the spot. I always get a ride in under 3 minutes flat, no matter what time of day or night I need a ride. So it's like having a private driver on speed dial. And I maybe at most pay, depending on the part of the city I'm going to, because I live on the outskirts, I mostly pay no more than $3.50 one way for a ride. Some of my rides are like under $1. They can be 80 cents a trip. It's so cheap. So think about it. I don't have to drive and face the traffic. I don't have to pay for the gas. I don't have to worry about car insurance. And I sure as hell ain't got to pay for the maintenance of that tuk-tuk, okay? And you don't even have to tip the driver. I'm not in the United States. Tipping is not a thing out here in Cambodia. If you feel it in your heart to give the guy a tip, you can do it through the app, okay? He doesn't ask you for money at the end of the ride. You know what they mostly ask you for? They ask you for 5-star review. They just want 5 stars on their thing. So that keeps them busy and, have more work. So I am more than glad to give a driver a 5-star review, especially if he does a really great job driving me from point A to point B. So you know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, I don't miss driving anymore. And coming from a girl who used to love to drive, okay, I loved it. I love driving. I love the freedom of driving. I love to go fast down the road. Of course, that's when my younger years. And then after I became a mommy and everything, I had to go a little slower, but I love to drive. But what I hated was all of the expenses that went with drive. You tuning in and listening to my rant. So bear with me. Let me jump into my comments. That was just something I had to get off my chest because I'm telling you, the further you get away from your automobile in the United States and you start using other transportation like here in Cambodia, the less you're going to miss having a damn car. You are not going to care. All right, I'm pulling up your comments right now, guys. I appreciate you being patient. All right, let's see who's in the house. Let me see who's in the house. Justice says hello. Hey, Justice. Lily T, gotcha, girl. Hello. Does he still has the car? He does to this day. He does to this day. Like I said, I was the first owner. I meticulously took care of that car till I gave it to him. And he is doing his own maintenance on it now. I even asked him, I said, son, how's that car running? Because it's got over 100,000 miles on it. I think it's got 150,000 miles on it now. And he says it's running fine. The AC works perfectly fine. But when I went back last year to visit him, I was looking at the car and I could see the paint is like, it's a black car, but the summer heat in Florida, it just fucks your car up bad with the paint. So the paint is actually fading off the trunk and the hood and the roof of the car. But other than that, it's fine. I'm like, ah. I think of that car as sort of my third child, and I was like, oh, she's beat up now. But I know my car's in good hands with my son, so. But yeah, he still has that car. What up, girlfriend? Hey, Clark, what up? What up, boy? Howdy from Matt. Well, howdy, Matt from America. Let's see what you wrote. Make sure you get your change before they drive off sometime. See, I don't even pay cash, Matt. I hooked up my credit card to the Grab app and everything's digital through the app. So whatever the rate is, I get exactly charged that rate. I don't mess with cash at all. And then, that's the beauty of it. Now, if you have your bank account out here, you can hook up your bank account to the Grab app. Okay, so there's no haggling, there's no cash exchange. I love it. And I treat my credit card like a debit card. So at the end of the month, I just pay off all those Grab charges and boom. Plus it's a travel credit card. I earn travel points from that. So it's a double win. It's a double win. I can't do that in LA. Yeah, I can imagine. LA is probably, I've never been to LA, but it seems like you guys probably don't have, do you have a bus transportation system at least? I think you guys probably have at least that, but you probably don't have what I was talking about, trams and subways. I don't think they have that in LA. Clark says, I hear you, very transformative life event for transportation habits. Yeah, it is super transformative. It's unreal. It's unreal. Because like I'm saying, it's been 3 years without my own personal automobile. Now, could I buy a car out here in Cambodia? Of course I can, okay? It's not like they don't have automobiles out here. They got motorbikes and they have cars and vans. They have trucks, they have everything. These vehicles come in from all over the world. I've seen a lot of cute cars, but I don't know anything about their driving habits out here. All I know is it's pretty freaking scary, okay? Like there might be a handful of traffic lights in this entire city that work. The rest of the intersections have no traffic lights, no stop signs. The way they do it out here is like everybody gets into the intersection at one time and they just sort of take turns. while everybody's in the intersection. So you're going, you know, the guy's like inching his way in, these guys are driving through, he's inching, then he's in the middle, they stop, right? And he goes through, and that's how they do it out here. I haven't seen, and they've come in like inches of each other, and I have never seen them hit each other. Now, I have seen some minor car accidents between cars, but I haven't seen it on motorbikes, and I haven't seen it on tuk-tuks. But hey, there has been some hairy calls, like with me in the tuk-tuk, being out in the intersection. Sometimes you can just see these cars just coming right at you, and the guy's still sitting in the road, and you're like, oh no. I just look the other way because I'm like, I know he's got it. I'm going to trust my driver. And sure enough, he gets right out of there just in time. But yeah, it takes some time to adjust is what I'm saying. Cashless society. Yeah, I mean, you can still do cash, Matt. It's not that it's totally cashless. In fact, there's another app out here to get drivers that's called a Pass app. Okay, that one is cash. That's mostly a cash deal. So the guy's going to show up with the estimated amount on his app. You're going to pay him cash. The only thing I don't like about that is that's where they get you, because all of them claim that they don't have change. Okay, this is the oldest trick in the tuk-tuk book I've discovered. So you're not going to have exact change. So let's say the ride is $2. You don't have exactly $2 on. You got $5, okay? So you're expecting your driver to give you back $3. 9 times out of 10, that driver's going to say, sorry, I have no change, no change. So what are you going to do? Not pay the dude? Or are you going to forfeit the $3? That's his tip. That's how they get away with that shit. And it's a pretty clever little move too, because it's like, well, you did drive me. I can't just walk out of the tuk-tuk without paying you, because he's gonna make a big stink. And you know, the other Khmer people out here, or the cops, are gonna side with the driver. So they're gonna say, well, it's not his fault he doesn't have exact change. Buyer beware kind of thing. Yeah. That's why I do the credit card hooked up to the Grab app, so I don't have to deal with that and lose more money. Hey, Trinitario. Hi, Tammy. It's your stalker, Brian, here. Hi, Brian. If you guys haven't seen the last video, the interview with Brian, that's him. Say hello, Trinitario Be Traveling. That is him. That is the man I interviewed last time. Thank you so much again for the interview. It was a blast. I really enjoyed the time we spent together. And thank you again for the enchilada at the Mexican restaurant. Lily says, dang, better be prepared. Yeah, say hello to Brian, man. He's a cool dude. He is currently in Siem Reap, right, Brian? And it looks like from what I've seen from your videos you've been sending me, you've been having way too much fun out there. Good, I'm glad you guys seen the video. I'm glad you've seen the video. Since we got Brian on, do you guys have any questions for me or him from that interview? Like, did anything resonate with you, like what he said? Anything, any part of the conversation you could remember that maybe you had a question about? Now's the time to ask. Now would be the most fantastic time to ask. So drop it in the comments. And yeah, so one other thing, you remember how I was mentioning that my landlady hasn't been sending me fruit or vegetables anymore at my door? Well, guess what? Ta-da! She brought me fresh oranges from the farm. I love it. I got 7 freshly picked oranges. Look at that. The leaves are still green. Oh, man. They're beautiful oranges. I'm just leaving them out on the counter to get a little color on them. I'm so happy. I was like, finally, I get some free fruit. I'm so spoiled now. Like, she was giving me mangoes and everything every single weekend, and then all of a sudden, nothing for months, and now I finally get a bag of oranges. So yeah. Anywho, I hope we're not frozen. Are we good, guys? I'm seeing a little bit of action going on the back end. Give me a thumbs up if you can still hear me. Hello. And still can see me. Hello. Because I'm seeing some stuff freezing on my screen. Let me put down here. Can you still hear and see me? I don't know. I don't know. I want to make sure we're all good before I just go yakking to the wall. I'm pretty good about yakking to the wall. Speaking of yakking, hey, do you hear how quiet it is right now? You probably can't tell. There's no noise in my neighborhood at all. It's super, super quiet. Oh, okay, good. Okay, so somebody's commented. I was thinking, is it green as an orange? Well, she picked it more on the green side, I guess, so that they could turn orange later. But you know what? They actually have regular just green oranges out here. I mean, they're not green on the inside. When you cut them, they're orange. But the skin never turns color. The skin actually is left green. In fact, I just bought some from the store, but I ate the last one today. And it's a bigger orange. It's about this big, and the skin itself actually feels like rough. How can I explain it? It almost, you know how alligator hide looks like? That's sort of how their orange looks like. And it's real rough, but when you cut it open, it's super orange and it's super good. It's really good. So I don't know what kind of orange this is. This one I have never seen in the stores unless this turns orange. And of course I've seen the orange ones in the store. But this one's got a more smoother skin to it. We'll see. I know I like Florida oranges, but we'll see how Cambodian oranges are. I don't know. We'll check it out. But yeah, the reason it's so quiet right now in the neighborhood, you know what? It's gonna kill me. I'm trying to think of the name of this festival. It translates into Ancestors Day, okay? But they have a Khmer word for it. I'm not sure what it is, but we're gonna find out, yeah. So anyway, Ancestors Day is similar. It's a festival that lasts 3 days here, and it's going on right now. It's lasting today, tomorrow, and Tuesday, and all the government offices are shut down. So think of this as an equivalent to our Thanksgiving, okay? What they do is all the families visit each other. Okay, that my neighborhood is pretty much emptied out. That's why it's so quiet. All my neighbors around me are gone. These guys that live upstairs, thank God they left because she's noisy. I guess they went to just do something because they're out of school, so they're not going to be around for a couple days. My landlord just messaged me and said, I'm leaving. I'm going to the provinces to visit my family. So I got the whole building to myself right now. I literally have the whole neighborhood block to myself right now. It is so quiet. There's no well, I've heard a few tuk-tuk drivers. I've maybe heard a couple of vendors come through, but usually it's an all-day event where they're coming through one after the other at different hours. There's one car right now coming through, I hear it. Even the dogs aren't barking, okay? I don't know if they took the dogs or what. But this is amazing. But yeah, anyway, what they do is they gather around with family, then they go to the pagodas, which is equivalent to a temple, and they do their food offerings to the monks, okay? So the monks are doing good, all right? So the monks are actually seen as an intermediary to the dead, right? So when they feed the monks and the monks eat the food, they're actually feeding the dead. It's hard to explain, but it sort of translates that way. Um, and then in exchange, the monks will do their chants. And when they chant, it's supposed to open the gateway to the dead so that the dead can come through and like redeem themselves, or like if they died and they were sort of evil, they can come through and they can redeem themselves and be at peace, right? So that's what this whole thing's about, just to explain it to you. And what I'd love to do tomorrow, it's probably going to be late afternoon out here, but I am going to do I'm going to shoot a live stream from one of the pagodas. If all goes well, if they let me do it, there's a main pagoda that's out here that's called Wat Phnom, okay? It's the main one in the city. It sits up on a hill. It's beautiful. It's been here for like a good 100 years. I think it's a 100-year-old temple, maybe more. But they're going to have ceremonies at the temple. So I thought, what a great idea if I can get in there and actually shoot the live ceremony so you guys can see what's happening. Because this is a tradition that's been going on out here. They said they've been doing this for 700 years, okay? Like they do this every year for 700 years. This has been going on. So I would love to bring you along for the ride, man. And I've never seen this personally myself. So I think this would be a really, really cool thing, not only for me to view, but for you guys to see. So stay tuned for that. That's tomorrow. If I can get a ride. That's the only thing. I hope not all the drivers are actually like taking a vacation, but because I said it's pretty quiet. But I think they said like the malls are open. All of that is open. And yeah, so yeah, I think it would be super, super cool to do it. Brian says, I've already been informed by my girlfriend that I need to wake up at 6:30 a.m. to make offerings to the monks for the ancestors. Oh, wow, they go that early? No wonder everything's quiet then. Well, I mean, in the morning, I heard a lot of people like packing their cars and leaving, and they were leaving last night. A lot of the neighborhood was emptying out, so whew, that's almost like a job, Brian. You on the job. You got to get up 6:30. She making you do this every day for the next 3 days. Good luck, buddy. Good luck. I'm not getting up 6:30 tomorrow. The pagoda's actually open till 6 p.m. my time, so I'm going late because the sun will be going down a little bit further. And I'm thinking maybe mid-afternoon to evening, before they actually close the place. That would be pretty cool. The weather will be nice. It's been breezy lately. We've been getting like nice breezes through the city, so I think that'll be the best time for me to go. Not 6:30 in the morning. No, 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 no. This chick ain't getting up at 6:30 in the morning going to a pagoda. Nope. Nope, nope, and nope. But yeah, I'm trying to bring that to you live. And I believe that's their biggest holiday that's going on at the moment. There might be another one probably coming up next month. We'll see. If not, it'll be in November. So I know a few of you are coming in November. So look up online. I mean, you may be able to catch one of these festivals while you're here. And, that is the heart of the culture. That is what you want to see. And it humbles you, okay? Because I've been to that Wat Phnom temple before they had the festival. I've already been there a couple times. The park is beautiful. I want to walk you around the park. They've got beautiful statues out there. They have something called this giant clock. Like it's a clock built into the side of the mountain. It's super neat. It's a cool place to check out. And it's like sort of across the street from the French Quarters, where all the French colonial buildings are, which is one of my favorite restaurants out there. Um, and it's not far from, what do you call, like Walking Street, the main road that goes up to the riverfront. It's like all in that area. So it's a pretty cool location. Um, yeah, so I definitely want to go there and check it out. But yeah, before when I went there, I got to see some of these guys with the traditional instruments. You know what I'm talking about? Um, with the flute and the little drums, and ding, 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 like a xylophone or something. I don't know. I'm just like trying to give you an idea of what I was listening to. But they were all sitting cross-legged inside the actual temple. Now, this temple, no, I'm wrong. That temple's from the 14th century. I don't know why I was thinking a couple hundred years old. That temple is from the 14th century. So that thing's been around. But the paintings and everything, the murals are all from the 14th century. They're sort of faded out, but they have the big Buddha statues in there. It's really cool. And the woodwork is like unbelievable. So anyway, yeah, I got to tour it, when there wasn't hardly anybody in there. But now with this festival, it might be super crowded. But on the outside of there, they have like another little mini temple that sort of sits next to it that overlooks the city. And that's where they do the offerings with the incense, and they do their prayers to the Buddha and all of that. So I don't want to get like too personal and get in somebody's face with a camera, but I will definitely try to do it from afar, like nice little angles and everything. I just think it would be super awesome. Super awesome. You got my face. You got my face. But yeah, you guys got any questions? What's happening out there? So let me know. What be happening, bro? You guys are quiet. You must be like half asleep. Is everybody half asleep right now? Hey, I get it. I understand. Saturday night in the States. Yeah, but I can't really think of anything else I wanted to explain to you as far as like the festival. And then, no, you're good, Lily? Okay, Lily. Thanks for commenting. Uh-oh, I hear somebody. Oh no, I hope it's not my neighbors. I heard somebody up in their apartment earlier. I think just they have a maid, man. Like this maid comes up and cleans their place once a week. I clean my own place. I'm not that lazy. Just listening. Yeah, I just heard a guy's voice out there. Because it's so quiet right now. Somebody's up there, but I don't think it's them. Clark's eating cold watermelon. Hey, I like watermelon. You know they have yellow watermelon out here? I just had some this morning with my fruit bowl. I think we have yellow watermelon in the States, but it's a yellow and red are the main watermelons out here. And they're good. And they're cheap. Yeah, I know, right? Doesn't that sound good? Cold watermelon sounds really good. Yeah, I had a bowl full of fruit this morning. You gonna try the yellow watermelon when you get here? Okay, okay. Also try the jackfruit. I used to not like the yellow jackfruit as much. I used to love the orange. Remember I told you I like the orange better because it's sweeter. But the yellow ones aren't really that bad, and they are cheaper. So I've been buying the yellow ones lately. I still haven't been brave enough to try durian. I can't get past the smell. I just can't. I can't. I don't see how they eat it out here, but they sell durian by the truckloads out here. Like Asians love durian. I don't know what it is about this fruit, but they love it. But I call it the stinky fruit, if you guys have ever heard of it. Yeah, I know, right? You can't do it either. I can't, like I said, like you can have that thing cut up. Somebody's already cut up the fruit and they've put plastic wrap over it. It's wrapped up, right? Where you shouldn't have to smell anything. And then it's sitting, even in a cold storage refrigerator. Okay, tell me if we're back on. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Are we good? Give me a thumbs up. Roger? Roger Dodger. All right, yay. Okay, cool. Where were we? Okay, we're talking about the texture. You're leaving Chiang Mai, ER. Okay, Clark says he's, you can't get past the gooey texture. Did I get my extension cord? No. Nope, not yet. Okay. Actually, I've been busy. I have another interview lined up, guys. I haven't edited it yet, but my 4th interview went down. It'll probably come out not this coming Friday, but next Friday. So, yeah, I've been pretty busy lately. This one here, this guy, I'll tell you just a backdrop with that guy. He's from Texas, by the way, ER. This guy interviewed, moved here from Texas, from the Dallas area. He has a Khmer girlfriend that he lives with. He met her through some family. I guess some family worked at the same company where he worked at in Texas, and that's how they started to get to know each other. So I'm not going to go into the whole story, but yeah, he's living out here now permanently with her. And I got her on the video too. I thought it was so sweet. I got a couple. I got a 2-for-1 deal. Now, she don't speak much English, but she's so cute. So I think you guys will like that interview too. It's going to be fun. That one's going to be a good one too. We're all back. Yay! We can. Awesome. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, because like I was talking to him about the cost of living. He said he's been out of the country for, well, about a year. He's got me beat. I've been out for 9 months in Cambodia. He's been here a year. So he moved out from Dallas, Texas a year ago, and he loves it. He ain't going back. Yeah, that one's going to be a good one, ER. So you want to check that. But like I said, it won't be this week. It'll be next week. So it'll give you time to get back to the United States, and then you go watch him and think, damn, I want to go back to Cambodia and find me a girlfriend. Oh, shoot. Yeah, it's out of hand, and it makes me wonder. I don't even know how my kids are making it. I know my daughter is busting her ass, okay? She's an actual insurance adjuster, too. I got her into the profession, unfortunately. She works for Progressive. They've been working her balls off, okay? If she had balls, they'd be falling off right now, literally. Like, I can't even get her on text anymore. Like, we used to talk a lot through text. Now I'm lucky if I hear from her once a month. And she was just telling me, she goes, I'm sorry. She goes, I don't even look at my phone. I don't have any time. She's like, they got me working 40 hours on my load. And there's 2 people that went out on leave, extended leave for God knows how long. They dumped their work on me. So she's just working her ass off. She goes, I can't get enough sleep. And I'm like, God, I feel so bad for her. And I think, my God, I remember those days. And she's going to college on top of that. So she's doing online school, trying to weave all of that together. I did the same thing, but I had 2 kids to raise. She doesn't have any kids. That's the missing piece. And she's always told me, she's like, Mom, I don't know how you do this. I said, well, welcome to my world. I said, but now I don't have to. There is a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow if you go for it. ER says, maybe a boyfriend. My name is... Oh, I'm sorry, Elizabeth. I thought you were a guy. I'm so sorry. Okay, I will remember. I'll burn that in my head. That's Elizabeth. The prices are ridiculous. I just retired from UPS. Okay. Well, congratulations retiring from UPS. She's working just to pay the bills. Yeah, that's exactly it. For real. Yeah. Sounds like the USA. Yeah, yeah. And then my son, he works nights. He's like a forklift driver. He's younger. He's like 21. So he don't even know what he wants to do with his life. And I don't want to rush him. I'm like, if you want to go to school, fine. But remember, you pay for it. You're going to have college debt. And I even told my daughter, I says, you're on your own with that college debt, girlfriend. I mean, mommy ain't rich. I don't have no big stack of bills in the back room over there to pay off your college debt. Like, whatever you get into, you're responsible for. And I told both my kids that. I don't honestly think they need a college degree, but she wants to go for like a data analyst kind of degree and get into that field. So I was like, okay, hey, you do you, girlfriend. You do you, okay? I'm still proud of her either way. She's only in her first 2 years right now. Yeah, tell me about it. I was a single mother and it was hard. Yeah. Now it is a lot worse. Now you're paying Trump's tariffs. Yeah. Yeah, and I hate to make a joke about that, but it wasn't easy for me. And I can imagine if she had kids, though. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'm sort of glad she doesn't. I'm really glad she doesn't, because I don't see how she would be able to support herself with kids right now in this environment. Even though maybe Dad would like to have some children. I know, I'm going off on a motherly rant. I mean grandchildren, not children. I already have my kids. I would like for them to have children. So maybe it'll happen someday in the future. You never know. Maybe things will get better in the States, hopefully. I'm always the optimistic porcupine, so I think things will get better. And if we keep thinking that collectively, I look at it this way. I've always just worried and was concerned about my own economic bubble, okay? Yeah, I can see what's going on in the world. I can hear from it, on the news, but I'll tell you what it boils down to is me and my pocketbook, okay? That's it. I'm not concerned about the debt ceiling and all of that shit, right? I'm worried about my own economic bubble. How can I save money in this environment? How can I invest in this environment? I always made money a game, okay? And I still do to this day. I think to myself, when I go to the grocery store, how low can I go and still have a good quality bag of groceries, right? And, not to rub it in, but I got 2 giant bags of groceries. I paid $31 for it here. 31 bucks. That was breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack. That included steak, pork, chicken livers. What else did I get? All variety of fruits and vegetables. I had to pick up shampoo. I'm trying to think. I got a little snack thing, some buns. They were coconut buns. They were really good. $1 for 4. But yeah, I mean, let me tell you, there's a vegetable I think I've fallen in love with. I never had. I told you guys before about it. It was called a bean curd or something, or a bean yam. A bean yam. B-E-A-N yam. Y-A-M. Do you know how much one costs? It looks like a turnip. It's about this big, yay tall. 7 cents. 7 cents, guys, for a vegetable, okay? I bought that sucker. 2 onions, big ass onions out here. 55 cents for 2 onions. I'm telling you, the deals are out here, man. So for my whole entire month, I mean, my groceries average, like the week before, I only spent 20 bucks on groceries because I didn't need much. This past week, I spent 30 bucks on groceries. But that's my average, okay? So for the entire month, my grocery bill, if you want to just say 30 bucks a week, is what? $120 a month? That's all I'm paying for food. And I do most of my cooking at home. I only go out to eat maybe twice a week. Uh, and like I said, you've seen me go out and eat really good meals for $6 with a drink. What are we talking about here? This is how the United States should be, right? Although I've never remembered even being shopping in the United States. I've been to Aldi, okay? I was an Aldi shopper. The only time I would go to Publix is if I wanted something special, you know? But I always was crunching my dollars. I was shopping at Aldi. I was using coupons. I pulled out all the stops. That was the only way that me and my kids were surviving, okay? And not just surviving, but being able to pay my debts down and to be able to put some kind of money away for an emergency fund. So I was always like the coupon girl. I was the Aldi shopper. I would go to Family Dollar. You know, I would always be looking for the best deals. And where I lived, Family Dollar, Aldi, and Publix were in a triangle, like a 2-mile radius of each other, right? So I was even strategic with my gas and my driving. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get my groceries last because they're cold. So I don't want them sitting in the car in the Florida heat. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to Family Dollar and get the toilet paper and all the paper goods, right? Because they're cheaper over there. Got coupons. Now I'm gonna go to Aldi and get all my cold stuff. Then I'll jump over to Publix real quick and just pick up, I don't know, whatever it is I needed to get at Publix real fast, because it might be one thing, go in and out, circle back to the apartment, pick up my mail out of the mailbox. I did this every Sunday. I kid you not, this was my routine. And then I take all my groceries back upstairs. That's how frugal I was. I knew my route. I saved on the gas, I had the coupons, and I knew where to shop. Let me get back to your comments, sorry. Let's see. I'm leaving, I'm selling the house and already started getting rid of things. Good for you, Elizabeth. Yeah, amen. You're jealous. I'm sorry, Lily. I want you guys to know how possible this is. I'm living it, okay? I am living proof. And you can be in my position. All you got to do is find a way to escape the matrix, okay? I can't help you with that. Everybody's got their own, finances. You got your own plan. You got to figure it out, okay? You got to figure out a plan to get the hell out of the States. But once you're here, it all becomes so simple, okay? Now, do I want expensive products? Can you buy expensive products out here? Of course you can. Now, just because I can get a 7-cent vegetable doesn't mean I can turn around and spend $15 on a thing of grapes, okay? Because some things are shipped in and they're super expensive. Like grapes and strawberries and blueberries are super expensive out here. I don't buy them because they're $7 and up for a little carton. Cheese is super expensive out here. I don't eat cheese anymore. If you want cheese real bad, you can get it, but you're gonna get a thin little thing about this big for $7, okay? I have cravings for peanut butter every now and then. I love peanut butter. It's not too bad. You can get a jar of peanut butter for maybe $3.50 to $4 a bottle out here, or a jar. But that's few and far between for me. So yeah, you can either go and spend $100 at the grocery store here, but you have the choice to also spend $30 at the grocery store. And the meat is dog cheap, guys. Oh my God. Now the seafood's expensive, which you wouldn't think it would be so expensive because Cambodia is sort of near the ocean. I don't know why it's so expensive. But there's shrimps and all that. I hardly ever buy seafood. I'm not a big seafood person anyway, but I can get a piece of kamai steak. I got it for $1.50. I ate it last night. I get a big thing of like 3 giant chicken breasts, $1.70. Chicken livers. I like chicken livers. Giant package of chicken livers, $1.60. Pork. Pork is a thing out here, guys. They do pork bacon all the way up to the pork collar, pork shoulder, pork this, pork that. I mean, everything's pork out here, right? Very cheap. Yeah, depending on the cut, I think the most expensive pork package I've seen in the grocery store is $3. And you can get it down to like literally, like I said, $1.50. It feeds me. I can get like 2 or 3 meals out of one package for $1.50. Okay. It's unbelievable out here. Unbelievable. Elizabeth says, right, I sent my family a pic of the groceries I bought that was a little over $30. Back home, I had $150 worth of groceries in 2 bags, not full. I know, I believe it. I believe it. And even back then, like we're talking 10 years ago when I was still in the States and still buying groceries and everything, using coupons, grocery arbitrage, trying to keep my costs down. I was still, yeah, I would say my weekly groceries were about $130 a week. And that's what I'm paying for 1 month out here. And that's me being so super, like me cooking everything, okay? Like I didn't really do microwave, just a little bit of microwave stuff because that shit's expensive. You know, but then, you know, you have a hungry teenage boy in a house who wants something fast. So I used to buy those packs, those cheap packs of burritos for him. I said, that's all you're getting. You ain't getting no these fancy, what do you call, TV dinner meals, right? That cost $3 a piece that maybe would fill him up for 15 minutes. I said, no, you're going to get that cheap ass pack of burritos or enchiladas that I used to buy for $3 a pack. But it says there are like 12 of them in there. And I says, but that's going to have to last you the whole week. So you better figure out how you're going to eat those within the week. That's what I used to do, man. Yeah. Yeah, you're debt free. Congratulations. You know what they say, and we'll use a woman in this example. A woman with no bills is a rich woman. Amen. The rabbit news. Hey, what? I just went to a grocery store today. It cost me $360, dude. What did you buy? Half a cow? Holy shit. That's insane. I never even spent that when I had the kids in the house. Never. I could never afford that bill. Never. We would starve. I could not pay that. Lily says, Tina, I think that's what they call them. Elizabeth, while in Chiang Mai, I got a gel pedicure, manicure, foot and leg massage, went back and got a Thai massage and a haircut, everything for $60. No lie. America is a capitalist country. So your eyes are open, right? Eyes wide open? That's what I'm saying. If you guys have never left the United States, she's telling you right now how cheap it is, and that's in Thailand. It's the same thing out here in Cambodia. Same deal. Like I said, you can live high on the hog out here, but you're going to get better quality. So if you want to spend $100 on a steak dinner out here at a fancy restaurant, the quality is off the chain. It's not like it is in the United States. Like you're going to get tablecloth on your table. You're going to get a man with gloves on his hands serving you. Hell, I get that at the French restaurant for $15, okay? My favorite French restaurant near the pagoda that I'm gonna go to tomorrow, $15 for a buffet of all you can eat. It includes all the different salads, soups, desserts, All and a main meal that you can pick. You can either have a salmon or a steak with a side, a drink, your choice, could be coffee, beer, whatever. And they give you free warm bread and fancy French butter for $15. Okay? That's my treat. When I want to splurge a little bit, because normally I only spend $6 a meal, I go there and I go there hungry, okay? Because I load up on that shit. I'm just like, and they got the finger, like the little finger desserts. Oh my God, all French desserts. Bro, it's delicious. You got me going, I'm excited. Okay. Took the words out of your mouth. Yes, the burrito. You remember the burritos? And those burritos are nasty. I used to buy a bunch of that cheap hot sauce. I said, look, and he was like, I don't really like these burritos, Mom. I said, hey, just pour a bunch of that hot sauce on it. You won't even, it tastes good. I got him to eat it. My kids like the red one, which is beef. Yeah. Oh yeah, I bought a lot of beef ones and the bean ones. He liked the bean ones. Here's what I can't accept, Rabbit News says. In America, everything is regulated. Your foods must go through a process from the beginning to the store shelves. True. In Cambodia, nothing is out there. You are on your own. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of food just off the side of the road. I can go even cheaper if I really wanted to, but I don't really feel I need to. I could buy my produce off the road. Okay, and I'm sure I can cut my bill probably in half. I'd probably only have a $15 grocery bill. But the reason I go the way I go, because I have to make a little compromise, right? Is because and I've said it before, I don't like the idea of food just sitting on the side of the road, unprotected, and you've got all the moto bikes and all the trucks constantly going up and down the road near the food stand, which is getting covered in diesel gasoline. Because I mean, they don't really have any like sort of regulations on their vehicles either. Like a lot of these trucks out here spew out black smoke still. It stinks, okay? And all of that pollution. And plus, not to mention, whatever when they're driving down the road, they're kicking up dust. Like if it hasn't rained, they're kicking up dust, right? So all of that stuff is getting on the food. And yeah, that just turns me off. It's getting on the produce. It's getting on the meat. Like when they sell meat on the side of the road, they literally sell it unpackaged. Okay, guys? Like they just went there and they went in the back and they chopped up a chicken. And they took that chicken and they just stuck it on a meat hook and hung that bitch right up there in the vendor cart. Okay? And it's just a chicken hanging there, dripping. Some of it's still dripping blood, man. I ain't gonna lie. You got ducks with their necks still hanging out, but they're plucked. You got slabs of beef and pork just on those meat hooks. But again, they're just right out there, unwrapped. Flies are getting on it. Who knows how long the meat's been sitting on the meat hook. I'm not about to buy it. That's why I go to the grocery store, because I know at least it's been refrigerated and it's wrapped up. I ain't trying to get that exotic, okay? Anyway, back to your questions, okay? Lily says, I'm not too sure because they're all old now. That was back in the day. Yeah. Elizabeth, yeah, I get that because I'm apprehensive about street food, period, anywhere. Yeah, it turns me off, man. No way, I might throw up. You get sort of used to it because, I mean, I see it every day. You know, when I'm driving through the city on my tuk-tuk, you see that shit every day. People buy it. I mean, the locals buy it, man. But here's what I've been told from the locals, especially my landlady. She's like, always go early in the morning. There's got to be a reason they tell you that, because naturally it's fresher. and it hasn't had the whole day with flies and pollution getting on the food. So she's always told me, if you're going to do that, go early in the morning. I ain't ever up that early, so I'm going to the grocery store. Clark says, this I could do in Cambodia. Okay, well, guys are more, I don't know, you guys are more like throw caution to the wind, I guess is what we can call it. So I've seen guys buy meat off the carts, but I've also heard from guys, expats, about how sick they've gotten. Okay? Like every time I hear about an expat eating food off of one of these carts, they all tell me they end up with diarrhea. They all tell me that they have like a stomach thing and they're down for the count for 2 to 3 days. They're throwing up and they got diarrhea. They got it coming out both ends. I hate to gross you guys out, but I hear it every time. So what is that? I put 2 and 2 together and I say, I'm never going to eat any of that food off the carts because I don't want to go in that. I'm not trying to go there. I'm trying to keep myself healthy out here, okay? Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't either. Yeah. Flies, man, worms. Yeah, exactly. And why do they tell you, like, a lot of people say, well, you should take the parasite pills every 6 months when you're out here. But then again, when I asked that question, when I went to the U.S. Embassy meeting, that's one of the questions I asked the lady. I says, is it absolutely necessary to take parasite pills in Phnom Penh every 6 months? She told me it depends on your lifestyle, okay? She said, same thing, what I thought, if you're eating off the streets or you're living in the rural areas with the rice paddies and the mosquitoes, you may want to take the parasite pills. But if you're eating more, safely, like I do, like I go to inside the restaurants and I eat from the grocery store, you may not need the parasite pills. I personally have not bought them and I haven't taken them because I don't live that lifestyle. And yeah, so again, depends on you. You do you. So if you want to eat off the carts, some things I will buy off the carts. Now, I'm not saying I never get anything off the carts. My favorite thing, of course, well, it's a drink. It's the, the sugarcane juice. That's my favorite drink, and you can only get them from the cart vendors. They don't sell them in any of the restaurants. You will hardly ever get a sugarcane juice on the menu. So I do get those off the street. But I mean, let's face it, it looks like a big bamboo stick. It's a sugarcane stick. They just have sticks on their cart. And they make it fresh on the spot. So what they do is they have like a squeeze machine thing, and they just feed the stick right through the squeezer, and it just it squeezes it, makes it into a pulp. It spits the pulp out on the back end, and it dumps the juice into the cup. And I've never gotten sick off of that. So, and they put it on ice and it's just perfect. And it only costs you, depending on where you go in the city, I can get a big tall one of those for 75 cents. They're really cheap. As far as buying something off a cart, I'll tell you another food I've done off the street carts. And they're usually in a glass container. That's the thing. It's inside a glass container with a door. But it's those buns, man. Those buns, I don't know what they call them. They're like Chinese stuffed buns. But they heat them up and, they turn into these big fluffy white buns, and they're stuffed either with pork, like barbecue pork, or they're stuffed sweet. They got taro in it, beans, red beans. They put different stuff inside these buns. The pork stuffed ones are dynamite. And you can get one of those for $1, right? And I've never gotten sick off of those. And you eat one of those things are so big and so fat, you get full. But the downfall is I get the farts off of that. I ain't gonna lie, okay? I'm just saying. I know that might be too much information, but those buns give me the farts. But I fucking love them. Yeah, red bean paste buns, right, Clark? Pork is yummy. The pork ones are the bomb. If you get sick, it's from the ice cream. Oh, well, I've gotten ice cream from the mall, but then again, it's from the mall. Never got sick off the ice cream. Sounds good to you, huh, Elizabeth? I know, I hate to go there, guys, but hey, I'm gonna go there. I'm sort of uncensored, okay? But yeah, those things, they're really good going down, but man, they're really bad coming out the back door. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I've bought that I've eaten off the street. So if you go down every weekend, they have, they call it Walking Street. They close off the main road that's near the river. I think it runs Friday and Saturday nights every weekend. You can go down there, there's like hundreds of vendors lining the streets and they sell everything. Okay, I'm talking everything. I've been down there a couple times. They sell everything from business jackets down to fried crickets. I mean, it's like whatever you want, it's on that street. I bought wrapped cookies. Somebody was selling homemade cookies and I was like craving cookies. So I bought some like homemade chocolate chip cookies or something, but and I ain't gonna be eating no crickets, okay? I've seen some weird shit out there. Like there's some really weird exotic shit. Fried crickets. I haven't seen the tarantulas. I know they do tarantulas, but I have not. I would puke if I saw that. There's no way I would eat a spider. But I've seen the crickets. I've seen the worms. They do fried worms out here. And some other weird beetle bug. I don't know. I mean, I'm not that hungry where I need to eat an insect, okay? I can hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna do I was gonna do a live stream from a tuk-tuk. Clark, if you came in late on the live stream, actually tomorrow, it's not gonna be on a tuk-tuk, but there's a big festival, it's Ancestors Day, the next 3 days. I'm gonna do a live stream from one of the local pagodas out here. And okay, are we good now? Are we good now, guys? It looks like it's trying to do something. Hopefully it'll work. Hold on. Oh, you're good now. Okay. Yeah, well, I am on shared bandwidth, but I share it with my landlady downstairs with her kids, but they're gone. So I know it's weird. It goes back and forth out here. Cool, cool. All right, cool. So yeah, listen to Iggy now. He's an ex-paramedic. So active charcoal. I don't know where the hell I would even get that, Iggy. I don't know. Cool, cool. I don't know where in Cambodia I would pick up that. I mean, I guess I could go to one of the local pharmacies and ask them if they have it. That's interesting. I have no idea. But I ain't trying to get sick, you know what I mean? I ain't trying. I stay away from weird stuff, and I guess it's the Westerner in me. Like, I'm just trying to keep myself intact and healthy so that I don't have to make a trip to a clinic or a hospital, even though I've got my medical insurance out here. But I really got my medical insurance, guys, just for the accidents. You know what I mean? Like, because you can be as careful as you can be with what you eat, exercise, whatever, and take care of your health. But it's the unknown things. It could be like, God forbid, I'm walking across the street and I get hit by a tuk-tuk, right? Or maybe I'm in a tuk-tuk and I'm in an accident, you know, and I bust an arm or something weird. That's why I have my insurance out here. So, I mean, the rest of it I can control. I can control what I ingest, right? And I can take care of my body that way and my health. But that other shit, that's the unknown, like walking across the street, something gonna happen, I don't know, right? It is taking a chance. I don't really do that often out here. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a chicken ass when it comes to crossing the roads around here because they don't really, I mean, there's some crosswalks in the city and very few of them have the signal where it tells you to walk across the street. The rest of them is a Hail Mary. I mean, you just go in with the traffic and you go. And what's so crazy, and I've done it twice since I've been out here, but I'm not a fan of doing it. It's only if I absolutely have to get across the street, right? But it's almost like they're a swarm of bees, okay? So the traffic's coming, right? It's coming, it's coming. Here you are. You can't just wait on the side of the road until the traffic is clear because it never clears. So you just have to I do what the locals do. I just watch them. They just start putting their feet out on the road and they just inch their way out 1 foot at a time, right? And then next thing you know, you're in the middle of the street and then they still don't stop. What they do is they swarm around you. So I'm just in my mind, I'm like, just trust the process. So I'm just inching across the road and you can feel them. They're like so close to your shoulder. You can just feel the wind blowing right across you, right next to your body as you're crossing the road. They're just going, meow, meow, and they're just going right across you, man, like right around your body. And then you make your way to this other side of the street. But it is the freakiest shit, man. Like, I think to myself, am I gonna die today? Like, is this the day? I just say Hail Mary. I'm like, okay, God, put a guardian angel right here next to me because I gotta get across this street, okay? It's scary. It's scary. For real. Elizabeth says, the whole time while in Chiang Mai, crossing the street, I felt like Frogger. The video. Exactly. Like Frogger. I laughed my ass off on the close calls. I loved every bit of it. Didn't it make you feel alive though? Like, I know it sounds weird, but it's like, you almost feel like you escaped death, right? And you're like, whoa, your heart's beating 90 miles a minute. And you're like, fuck yeah, I did it, right? I did it. I don't want to do it again, but I did it this time. And you just get super excited. Yeah, you just feel an adrenaline rush, man. Like, this place is nothing but an adrenaline rush half the time. Iggy says, I will get an inflatable elephant and walk with it. Okay, well, you know what? They walk with everything across here, okay? Yeah, he is funny. Oh my goodness. I need to release this as a short. I filmed something the other night, guys, when I was coming back. I was sitting at a red light, one of the few red lights, in my tuk-tuk. I looked ahead of me. Everybody's, stopped, right? Motorbikes everywhere. 3 people on a motorbike. One of them was holding a hawk or a falcon. I don't know. I can't tell which bird it was, but it was one of those birds. Literally had his arm out, had the bird sitting right on his arm while he's on a motorbike. And there was 3 people on the motorbike. I'm like, am I seeing things? And it's one of those hawks, man, with the beak and shit. It blew me away, guys. I was like, oh my God, let me get my camera out before the traffic starts going. So I'm pulling out my camera and I filmed the bird. So I'm going to have to release that on one of my shorts. In fact, I'll do it tonight. I'm going to get it out there so you guys can see it. I couldn't believe it. I was like, that's the first. I've never seen anybody on a motorbike just holding a hawk on their arm, just cruising down the streets. That super blew my mind. Super blew my mind. I couldn't believe it. It was awesome. Yeah, it was awesome. And that's another thing that baffles me. How do you fit? I've seen 4 people, a family, on a motorbike. Now, I know the people are smaller than me. Okay, Asians are small. But 4 people on a motorcycle? I mean, the seat's hardly that big, but there's 4 butts on a motorbike. And this guy's balancing, there's the guy with the driving and he puts his legs down, but he's balancing 3 other people behind him. Like, how the hell do these people do this shit? It's crazy. I'm always amazed. You were seeing a whole family on a I know, it is amazing. I know. It was absolutely amazing. Now, I don't know if it's a law out here, but usually I see mostly the entire motorbike community out here wears helmets. Okay, helmets are a thing out here. So if you are one of those moto heads and you're coming out here to put on pen, you're going to have to invest in a helmet. I'm just telling you. Will they let you get away with riding without a helmet on? I mean, you can do it. I've seen some people ride around here without helmets, but they are the minority. The majority of everybody rides with a helmet, and it's probably good practice because if you're going to get out here and try to like tuck and dive with the locals out here on these motorbikes, you better get a helmet. That's all I got to say. With this traffic and the way their traffic laws are not our traffic laws in the States, okay? Like, here's another example. You think that when you're traveling on a one-way road that everybody's going the same direction? Guess what? You will see people come off a side street and go the opposite direction. While you're going this way, they're coming this way on that side of the road. But now, I'll grant you, they're near the curb. So instead of them coming out and crossing the traffic and going the other direction, they say, oh, fuck it, I don't want to do that. So they just get out and they go on the same one-way road and come the opposite. They do all kinds of crazy shit out here. There's no rules. It's only don't hit each other. I think that is their main rule. Just don't hit anybody. You can do whatever the hell you want, just don't hit anybody. And wear a helmet. Yeah, they sit sideways, Rabbit News. Yes, they do. I don't know how the chicks do it. They're on their cell phones. They ain't hanging on to the person in front of them. They ain't hanging on to the motorbike. They just sit sideways with their feet dangling and they're on their cell phone while the bike's moving. I'm like, I would be scared to death. Yeah, it's amazing what they do out here. They grow up this way. That's their thing. Elizabeth says, I have a motorcycle license and I won't ride without one. Yeah. Yeah. Spell check. Rabbit News says, I visited Cambodia many years ago. They would look at you when you practice your manner from America, especially the way you sit and eat. Yeah, I mean, I guess so, because they're curious about you. I've had some stare at me. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I'll tell you another thing that's a thing out here that's sort of weird because we don't do it in the United States. Let's say you go into a store, a gift shop, for example. I'll give you an example. I went into a gift store to look at handmade Khmer objects like vases, things that were just hand painted, hand carved. It was really beautiful stuff. Paintings, everything. It was like a gift store, right? I'm the only one in the shop. I'm not touching anything. I'm just like walking through the store looking, right? Well, you'll have a clerk, and this is what I've been told. They're trained to do this. They do this in all the stores. And I've noticed everywhere, but they'll have a clerk follow you. They'll stay behind you. They won't say anything, but there'll be like two people behind you and they just stand with you. Okay? So they're staring at you while you're staring at the object. I mean, I guess that's a good deterrent from trying to steal something, right? But that's what they do. That's their culture. So if you have any questions, they have somebody right there to answer your question. Instead of you having to go back out of the store and ask somebody, that person follows you all throughout the store. And I've had that happen repeatedly. In fact, at first it was sort of annoying because I was like, man, this is so weird. You know, this person is just following me all through the store, right? But then you got to realize that's what they do out here. That's the way they do it. And they don't mean any disrespect, but that's just their culture. That's their thing. But yeah, they'll watch you. And like when I've been at the restaurant, they actually I haven't really had them stare at me at a restaurant. Sometimes they do, but I usually sit towards the front of the restaurant, like near a door, and I might have my back turned to the kitchen. So if they're watching me, I have no idea. Um, but they've, you know, they give you the food real quick, and they're real nice and polite. Ask you if you need anything else, and they no, and then they just leave you alone. You know, they go away. The restaurants, they leave you alone. You won't get any refills, okay? I will tell you that. Don't expect refills. They bring your drink, they bring your food, and that's it. There's no refills out here. And if you want ice, some of them will give you a separate bucket of ice for your drink, but a lot of times they won't. So if you really want ice in your drink, you have to ask for ice. Some of them will even charge you extra, some of them won't. I guess sounds like it works for both sides. Yeah, Elizabeth, yes, I had that in the drugstore. I thought, dude, come on, I don't steal. I know, it feels like they think you can't be trusted. And some more people walked in and he split and was on them. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he probably figured you were okay, so now he had to go chase the other ones. Yeah. Hi, She Laughs a Lot. Good to see you. Welcome to the live chat. Just chatting about things. But yeah, I just want to tell you some things that I observed. But it's crazy, the traffic, how they never hit each other. They wear helmets. They ride side saddle. 4 people on a bike. Hell, I've even seen them carrying infants in their arms, okay? Like, you know how normally in the States, like a mother would be wearing something to put the infant in and just hold the infant, a swaddle or whatever? They don't do that out here. They're literally just holding on to the baby. The mother's holding it next to her chest, in her arms, and she's on a motorbike. I've seen that too. That sort of scares the piss out of me. I'm like, oh my God, like this baby can't be no more than 6 months old, and she's just holding the head and holding the body right next to her. No helmet on the baby. They don't make helmets for babies. It's a whole nother world out here, guys. A whole nother world. Not in a car, no. I've seen them in cars they don't wear seatbelts out here, guys. That's another thing. I've seen kids in cars standing up in the middle, you know, between the 2 seats. They hold their babies just in their arms in the car. I've seen in the car windows, like, they don't wear seatbelts out here. So they have helmets, but they have no seatbelts. I don't know. It's crazy. Rabbit, it is 1 a.m. Aren't you going to sleep? I am. Good night. Good night. Good night. Right. Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to actually end the live stream because the phone's dying out. And so am I. Because I will be flying out of Canada in a week. Can't wait to get to Cambodia on October 2nd. After a 2-day stay in Singapore. Okay. Fantastic. Well, I mean, look me up while you're here. I don't know if you're coming to Phnom Penh, but look me up while you're here. I'll take you to a nice cafe or coffee shop or whatever, you know, and meet and say hi. We'll do a meet and greet. Yeah, till next time. All right, guys. I know it's probably getting late on your end, too. But thank you for watching. I appreciate all of you. You know this. And don't forget about the live stream from the pagodas for the Ancestors Day tomorrow. I'm sure you'll see it pop up on your screen somewhere. But yeah, we're going to do it tomorrow. It should be fun. All right, guys. Love you as always. Appreciate you. And hey, if you need anything from me, of course, if you need any kind of, I'm selling merch now. Hey, just saying, I've made my homemade designs on coffee cups for Cambodia and also t-shirts. Hell, you can even get a pair of sweatpants with a logo and shit on it. So check it out. My website, nextstepunknown.me. All right, guys. Catch you in the next one. Love you. Bye.